What is ad production? Imagine the process from the birth of an idea to the execution of that idea on film that will raise your brand value. That whole process, what we call ad production.
Episodic series, Jersey13 Sikhiya, shot 1, take 1 and action.
Everyone, hello, hi, namaskar. Welcome to this brand new episode of this series called Jersey13 Sikhiya, presented by Jersey13 Productions. And in this episode, we are going to talk about the entire process of producing an ad. And producing an ad film is really fun and chaotic at the same time. So let's start. Film ad production is the process of creating advertisements, including everything from initial concept to final distribution. And these are the three main steps in developing a film ad. That is pre-production, production, post-production. And before getting into these topics, we should first understand the entire process of making an ad from start to finish. First is briefing. First, we collect the brief from the brand, client, or business regarding what is the product, what is the brand, and why they need this advertisement film. Then we ask some basic stuff. What is the purpose behind creating this advertisement? Is it for awareness or to increase sales? What is their target audience? A complete guide on buyer persona. Is there any business challenge they want us to solve with the help of this ad? What is the brand messaging behind this ad? What is the motive of this ad? There are many more questions we need to ask from the brand before we start working on any project. And ये सब समझने के बाद, then we go on to the research and concept development part. And from here, starts the pre-production process. Our entire team brainstorms several ideas and comes on settling with the one final idea that appears to be viable. And then comes the screenwriter, or you can say script writer, on board for the project. Then follows the storyboarding part, in which the entire film will be drawn on paper shot by shot and making the process easier for each crew, team member involved in the project. The direction team, assistant directors will make the shortlist, scheduling, budgeting, etc. And then we begin sourcing the team. For example, we work with many filmmakers to determine what type of director will work best for this genre or particular project. The director will then arrive and gather his crew, including the director of photography, production designer, costume designer, and so on. And then we will move on to the casting process, where the director finds a perfect cast for the story. Next comes the sourcing. Then we have a creative discussion with the entire crew to discuss how we should approach the project and what precise requirements we must achieve while working on it. And then scout locations to see what kind of location the director wants to bring the vision to life. Sometimes it only requires one location, sometimes it requires 2, 3 or more locations. It all depends on the script, project and the budget that you are working on. After finalizing the locations, the technical recce part begins, where each HOD such as the director, DOP, production designer and sometimes the post-production department is also involved in it. All of them check the location together to determine if there are any technical challenges with shooting this commercial. For example, the voltage load of lights, the placement of cameras and lighting, and the production designer will check to see if any set needs to be built or if anything connected to design has to be adjusted, and they start working accordingly. If necessary, we hold rehearsal sessions with the actors, sometimes a dance sequence to show, and sometimes the director wants or check the entire scene blocking and staging with the actors before the day of shoot. And after finalizing all of the details such as color theories, costumes, art and sourcing, we move on the main day, the production day. An advertisement often takes no more than a day, 2 or 3 days of production. This is where all of our pre-production planning comes into play, because pre-production हमारी life को आसान बनाता है. Because if we plan properly, तो बहुत कम chances of error रहेंगे हमारे on the day of production, and we can shoot the film sequence peacefully. And then after shooting comes the post-production part, which includes editing, cutting, VFX, music production. Some directors do music production at pre-stage, some prefer after shooting. color grading. The colorist fills the colors in the film. Dubbings, graphic work, etc. And yes, making an advertisement requires a significant amount of work. So that's it for this episode. In the next episode, we will discuss in detail about each aspect of the pre-production process. This is Atul Miglani, director and founder, Jersey13 Productions, signing off.